Awakening with Brahma Kumaris.
Once again, we extend a very warm welcome to all our viewers in Awakening with Brahma Kumaris. Om Shanti. It has been a beautiful journey. The relationship with my own self, with God, and now gradually, relationship with my loved ones is becoming stronger and much more beautiful, much more comfortable. I'm comfortable with myself, but still, few more, aspects of relationships and life remain to be explored. And as always, it's a privilege to have with us Brahma Kumaris Sr Jayanti, who is the European Director of Brahma Kumaris and also the NGO representative at United Nations in Geneva.
Om Shanti.
A very warm welcome, ma'am. In fact, if we look back at our journey, it has been amazing. All the things which I thought were not possible are happening now, as I'm becoming stronger and stronger, and as my meditation is taking me closer to Him and to my own self. But then, still, as always, still more questions. And when we talked about relationships, we talked about attachment, and then I realized that I don't have to possess. Then I realized that my frustration or my anger for my loved one is just one aspect of my trying to change him or her. Now we come to ego. I think this is one blame which we all humans have been, blamed for, that it's your ego. You're being egoistic, actually. I think it's my ego which, stops me from doing this or that. What exactly is my ego and why is it so bad?
It's in varying degrees. And first there's the arrogance, which is very negative, and everybody will say that it's bad. I'm arrogant in that I'm very demanding and I'm forcing my views on others and expecting others to be in agreement. And it usually stems from some type of authority and position, and it might even be a tiny little bit of authority, some type of uniform that I've been given to wear. But the authority that it gives me creates a huge arrogance, and I expect everybody to obey me. So position, money, family, education, any one of those things, looks, these things these things can create a huge arrogance.
And where I feel that I'm powerful,
yes,
where I feel that I can actually dictate.
That's right. And it gives me a great adrenaline push, to be there and push others down. And it's totally destructive.
But it makes me happy.
Only temporarily, very, very temporarily. Because the end of it is a huge amount of pain. And of course, what's happening all around me is that nobody loves me anymore. And so at first I begin to ask, what's going on? How come nobody loves me? Nobody appreciates me? And then maybe something strikes home. But it's the pain that makes me ask the question, what's going on? And if I'm lucky and I come onto the path of spirituality, then that arrogance in a very negative way goes very fast. I realize I'm soul. I realize that all of those things that I thought were going to live with me till the end, I don't know. I have them today, tomorrow I don't. And so I detach from those things. And so that gross external type of ego, the arrogance, finishes. Then there's a level which is pride. I take pride in the things that I do. And I say, but surely that's normal and natural. And yes, it's important to do whatever it is I'm doing well to the best of my ability. But yet, to be detached from that, let me do what I can without expecting the acknowledgement and the appreciation and the honor that, yes, this is wonderful, you've done something beautiful. If I'm proud of the things I've done, then I'm going to want the recognition of that in some way. And again, there's going to be pain, because sometimes there'll be appreciation, but more often than not, there'll be rejection. And so I can't wait for that to happen. But
That becomes very difficult, because when I do something, maybe with awareness that I'm doing this, and I do it well, I do expect appreciation. That's something which actually I don't know. It's so natural. That's what I feel. That's what all of us feel actually. That it's so natural.
this is where, if you bring God into the equation, things can change. I know that I, on my own, wouldn't have been able to do such a good job. But if I remember that He's giving me the skills, He's giving me the insight, He's giving me the power, the capacity to be able to do this well, so I can't accept that regard or that honor, because I know that He's Karan Karavanhar, the one who works directly and works through others, and so really He's the one who's done it. And then genuinely out of my heart I say, but I didn't do it. I know He has done it. And so arrogance, then ego, the I have done this, or my intellect is good, or my idea is good, all of these things. And so that you deal with by remembering that I on my own can't do anything, but it's His help that's making things move. Then there's something even more subtle, and that's just the subtle consciousness of the body, in which I'm so deeply connected with the body that it's very difficult for me to keep coming back to the awareness of the soul. And so this goes only with a lot of detailed attention. The first one goes very quickly. The second one goes through the awareness and the relationship with God deepening. And this third one is the most subtle of all. And really, to deal with it, you need very deep practice of turning inwards and checking all the time. That's interesting. They say that when Hanuman was doing what he needed to do, it was only not just when Ravan died, but it was only when the whole island was set ablaze that Ravan's kingdom finished. And the whole island was set ablaze because Hanuman's tail was very long. And the tail is symbolic of ego. You can see my ego, but I can't look behind and see my own ego. And so that body consciousness that's there, it has to be burnt with the fire of yoga. They say that something caught the tail alight, and it was so painful that he was thumping his tail, jumping from roof to roof, trying to put out the fire. But in fact, everything was blazing. Everything happened more and more. And as you burn body consciousness with the power of yoga, the fire of yoga, then with the burning of the tail of ego, then the kingdom of evil crumbles. Of course, Ravan is shown to have fallen because of his arrogance. I am learned, I am the great one, I am the Pandit, I have all the elements in my control. And so you can see that, in a sense, the root of all evil is this wrong awareness of I, the ego that's there. And so to shift it around and come back to I am just a point of light. And yes, I'm beautiful, I'm powerful, I'm valuable. But as soon as I forget this, then the negative sanskars of the ego associated with this come out.
Okay, and the way you said, there's the last aspect of ego, which is so subtle. Actually, we don't even realize, when what takes over. It's happening with me. Another thing which I want to ask is like, when we understand the way I have understood, and the way, our viewers must be understanding it, this understanding, when we want to share it with others, it's like we're so strong that then the denial, and that is what is happening now also, and I think it must be happening with a lot of people out there, that when we understand that what is the truth, we want to share it with our loved ones, but they're not interested. And then is it again an aspect of ego? Is it my ego that I want to tell them that I know?
Absolutely. The best way to share things with loved ones is through your own transformation. As they see you change, others will listen to you preach, but the ones you live with don't want to listen to your preaching. They want to see you practice. And as they see you change, that'll be the advertisement. Something's happening here. Hey, look, come and find out more. But you can preach to them and they'll say, you keep it to yourself. Let me see what it does for you first.
Yeah.
And so, yes, to share what I understand with love is an aspect of love. But where I tell them, I know this is right. You have to listen to me. I can't do that to them. I can't impose. You're not going to listen.
Yeah, that's again, because I just wanted to be more clear about it. That is it also one aspect of my ego?
Yes, definitely. Because the sharing is not ego, that's love. But where I want them to believe what I'm saying, because I have told them this. That's me, that's I,
But
that's
but if
my
I feel
ego.
that this is what I've understood, this is what the truth is, then why can't they do it? Or maybe it'll happen to them, because this is something which I think a lot of people, especially it happens when people start getting into this path, they want to take all their loved ones with them. And when they get a rejection from there, they start questioning within themselves that whether they are right or not.
Of course, but I think you have to remember this analogy of the actor on the stage, and every actor with his own role. And I can't dictate to another actor what their role should be. Their role is their own. Let me do what I can about my role to play to the best of my ability, but I can't dictate what their role has to be. And so, yes, I can share. This is what I'm doing and this is how it's helping me. And they should be able to see that it's actually action and then the words. But then further, I have to leave them to find out for themselves. It's like, if my hand has been burnt by fire and I tell everybody fire burns, a few lucky individuals will have the fortune of understanding. Let me learn from the mistakes of others. But most of us will say, well, let me put my hand in it and see if it really does burn.
That's actually, I really can understand. But Sister Jayanti, you said that when there is authority, that is why I want them to do this. But then with authority comes the responsibility. I have to make them do it.
The whole question of authority is one which is the question of whether it's my responsibility in terms of my work, but the other is the authority that I feel that people should observe just in terms of my personality. And in terms of my job and my responsibilities, yes, of course, I have to fulfill that. But I can do that also instead of forcing other individuals to obey. I can do it by winning their respect and explaining to them, why don't you do it like this? This is the best way that would work, and this is the way that would be right. So even where I have a duty and an authority in that sense, if I'm using that authority and I'm barking orders at people, then in front of me they'll listen. My back is turned, they'll do all sorts of things. And so that's not the way I want things to work. What I would like is their genuine respect, so that if I make a suggestion to them, it's acceptable to them and they'll cooperate with me. And so I think that it's very important to see that. And I think even in terms of the corporate sector, people are now recognizing that the pyramid structure and one person with authority at the top doesn't work, but rather you have to win respect and work together with people. And then in terms of personality, sometimes people think that whatever is their background or their position or whatever, they have this authority and they expect everyone to do as they say. And nobody has a right to do that, because yes, I have my own dignity, which nobody can take away from me unless I hand it over to them. But equally, others have their own dignity. And if I acknowledge their dignity, but equally others have their own dignity. And if I acknowledge their dignity and work with them, their response will be one of respect. If I demand respect because of my authority and I impose that on others, then it's not going to be a very comfortable situation for me. Because today it's here and tomorrow there'll be a situation in which bang, it'll be burst and it won't happen.
Yeah, because, situation can actually change anytime, the kind of scenarios we are living in. The way you said that if the authority is there in your job, that's the way that's the job you have to do. there are times when we start taking our job so seriously, that job, that person, that professional is me, and then it is like, even if I'm not barking my orders, even if I'm subtle, I am very strong, Again, is that ego?
Absolutely. And in fact, that's the ego in which
I don't even say that I'm showing any authority.
but I'm going to find myself in a lot of pain because where I get stuck and hooked into one role, it's very dangerous for me. Because in today's world, today you're given a role, a throne, and tomorrow somebody is there to take it away from you. And even apart from role, I have to come back to soul consciousness.
Yeah, actually, because all these roles are also not the real me.
No.
Actually, at the end of it, the truth is that even if I'm hooked to being a mother, I've seen people really getting attached to being a mother, they're too strong about it, or being a beloved, like that's the only thing I know about life or about myself. Again, that gives a lot of pain.
Absolutely.
That's where somewhere I think that's the kind of ego which is there.
It is. It's a total sign of ego because it's a very external thing. And so soul consciousness is the journey inside, separating your consciousness from the consciousness of this body, the gender and the age and skin and color and all those things, but also then extend it a bit further in terms of the roles that I play, the position that I hold, the possessions that I have, and so the arrogance, then the ego, and then even the consciousness of the body. And so I'm dealing with each one of these things as I go on the inner journey. And when I go inside myself, what is there that I can have ego about? I, the soul, am the same as each and every other soul. But yes, with the grace of God, there are certain specialities that I have. So I acknowledge that. But there are certain weaknesses that I have. And so I have to acknowledge that too and realize that it's a mixture. But yes, I'm going to deal with that. And with God's help, I'm going to make sure that I sort it out. And so there's a very deep humility that comes when you go inside and begin to see everyone else as part of your family, as your brothers and sisters. No one higher than you, no one lower than you, all of us literally of one family, the children of God. And I've noticed that this introspective state, where you really spend a lot of time sorting things out within yourself and appreciating, and yet without any ego, recognizing, that humility is a great sign of wonderful personalities. It's a sign of greatness, actually. And if I think about the fortune of having met great personalities in my life, I can identify this particular aspect within all of them. They'll always think of others. They'll never think of selfishness in terms of self that I want. They'll always be the ones who are able to give. Ego will say, me first. And humility will say, you first. And in giving the opportunity to have you come first, then automatically I indicate my own greatness.
That's great, actually. This transformation from being a person who thinks I'm right always, I'm the one who has authority, to reaching out at a stage where I can say that you are first. But if I look at humility and if I go deep within it, there's another ego aspect of ego which is total opposite of being the authoritative, is, I think, giving in. There are relationships where we totally give in. We give in to, and then we say that I give in to you. Can I give in to some other human being? Is it possible? I give all myself to maybe in love. I've seen happening in love, in a lot of other relations. Is it possible? Should it happen?
The real state of humility isn't the state of being a doormat. Humility is a tremendous strength, a great power. I mean, if you see the example of Mahatma Gandhi, he was able to work with non-violence, with purity, with humility, and he was able to have such a strength that the British government had to bow down. So I'm just seeing history shows us that there are individuals who work with the power of humility, and they're definitely not doormats. But what happens with humility is that you know what your parameters are, and you're able to stay within those boundaries, and you make sure that nobody else imposes or crosses those boundaries. Humility with understanding means knowing where to draw the line. And you see, if I say, well, okay, you do what you want, and it doesn't matter about me, is it a situation which I'm actually increasing your karmic account? Because I'm saying to you, yes, carry on doing bad things. I'm giving you my permission for that.
Actually, that really happens, that especially if we talk about Indian women, the way the families have been, the way the things have been, like they give in and they continue and they say that it's okay, I don't matter, it's okay, it doesn't matter what is happening to me, I'm okay with it. But is it really okay?
I feel that in that situation, what is the impact on the children? They're not learning the right lessons. And so, okay, one is the quality of life that that person is experiencing, and whether they have the opportunity of elevating themselves and doing something not just for one person, but something for their family and the rest of society and maybe even the world. And so just allowing yourself to be suppressed in that way is not doing you or your family or anyone else a favor, and it's giving permission for whatever is negative to continue. And so I wonder, is it good karma or is it not good karma to do that?
Yes, and I think finally it comes down to that also, Sister Jayanti, is that I'm letting this remembrance go away from me, that who actually am I, because I'm making myself become so low. The reality of me, which I've learned now, is that I'm that powerful being.
In that awareness of I, the soul, I recognize my own value. I'm able to look at another one straight in the eyes because there's only truth and good feelings in my heart. If there was anything else, I wouldn't be able to do this. And so truly, soul consciousness restores the dignity of a human being and helps them walk with peace with their head held up high. And it becomes an example and inspiration for many others. And somebody who allows themselves to be downtrodden, it's not right karma, it's not the right development of human personality, and it's definitely the wrong message to everybody else around. So that's not what humility is about.
Yeah, and in fact, I think again we've reached that stage where we can once again try to go through that process of remembering that who really am I, so that I get impart and I'm able to take that power from the God.
I become aware of all the things that I've been holding on to that are artificial, all the things of the external world, my position, my possessions. I let go. I realize how much ego I've had about my own opinion. And now I want to step away from that and come back to that state of reality, of truth, of who I am. I am a soul, a child of God. Nothing is mine, not even this body is mine. And as soon as I realize this, I have given up nothing. I have lost nothing, because I awaken to the reality that I, the soul, am a child of God. And everything that my parent has is for me. I have everything. God's love, God's peace, God's truth is for me, the child. And as I feel this, my consciousness is able to fly. I go above all the petty things that have bothered me. I go above all the little distractions that have come my way. I can fly beyond all of this and stay connected with the Supreme. The gifts of the Supreme is what I had wanted. This is the peace. This is the love. And this is the power that I had wanted for so long. I stay in this awareness, multiplying my fortune with each moment of this precious connection. And I come back to the awareness of my physical surroundings and my present situation. And now it's really with that love and humility in my heart. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti. Every time you take us through, we become much more stronger. Thank you, Sister Jayanti. Thank you so much. Ego has been bothering us. We've really been thinking, what exactly is ego? And finally, I understand ego is my attachment to the wrong image. Me being the professional, me being the manager, me being the mother, me being many other roles I'm playing. But that's not what I am. Because the moment I realize that's not what I am, my ego can vanish, my authority can vanish. But then on the other hand, I don't have to give in 100%. I don't have to really become a sacrificing soul. I have to be what I am, and I have to take others in that perspective, what they are. It's a wonderful journey. Still, there must be some queries, some questions popping up in your mind. You're welcome. You can always write in to us or call us on this number, and you can mail us.
If you wish to discuss your problem or have a question to ask or want to know your nearest Raj Yoga Meditation Center, call us on 09999744555.
We have become aware of who we are, but then there's still those negative human qualities, jealousy, competition, greed, which are there somewhere in us, making us realize that something is not right. We have to deal with them. In the next episode, we'll try to find out a solution to all these negative human emotions. Till then, have a beautiful and wonderful relationship with yourself. Continue your search and continue the process of remembrance. Awakening with Brahma Kumaris will be back. Take care. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti.